Well, shmai everyone. I'm back again tonight with yet another card making video, and I've developed a love for a new card technique, which is a box card. Like a pop-up box card, so they go flat in the envelope, and then when the recipient takes them out the envelope, you can see then they're a 3D design. If you look down on it, you can see these little sections in it. So not content with making one, I've made a couple actually. I find them a little bit addictive. Once I find a new card technique, I think, oh, I'll give that one a try. So I use this one. This is with the holiday, what's it called? Something Homes from a few years ago. And when I saw the new set in the catalogue, it reminded me of this set. So I thought I'd give that one a try. And that's that card there. And then, using the gnomes, I made this one as well. And I kept my gnomes actually using my silhouette. I stamped them all, and I wasn't in the mood to fussy cut around those little tiny hands, let me tell you. So I then used my pick scan mat for my silhouette, and I cut all my gnomes out. But tonight, I'm going to make another Christmas card. I'm just going to put all these ones out the way. And I'm going to use the Freezin Fun stamp set. I'm going to use this one here. And I've also used the sentiments from this one and this little snowflake stamp. So let me show you how we do them. I saw a video and they were using the Lawn Fawn die set for this. And I don't have any of the die sets for Lawn Fawn, apart from the border one which I used here, because, well, they're quite expensive in the UK. So I thought, right, okay, let's get to grips with this. I watched a couple of videos, but I wanted a slightly bigger card. The ones I saw videos for, which were lovely, made quite small cards. So I've then altered the dimensions to suit myself. So this piece of card, this box card, is using two pieces of 8.5 inches by 7 inch card. Then you're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches, then turn it around and score at 3 inches. Okay, and do exactly the same thing with this one. So on the 8.5 inch side, score at 4, then at 8, flip it around and score at 3. I'm going to keep my my scoreboard out a second, because these are going to be the little struts that go across the middle of the box. These are actually 5 inches long, but I'm going to score them at 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches, because we actually only need the 4 inch length. Okay, now I have used the curvy border dies for this one, but on another card I've made, which isn't Stampin' Up, as you can see there, I've kept my struts across the middle straight, and then I've added grass to it. Okay, so that's a birthday card I've recently made. So exactly the same with this one, 1/2 inch and 4.5. Now you can add either 2 or 3 struts in the middle, or you could just add the one if you wanted to. I'm going to add 3 to this one. On the birthday card I just showed you, I only added 2 struts. Right, so now I'm finished with my scoreboard. So on these little pieces here, obviously I don't want these, can you see that bit there? I don't want that poking over the top, so I'm just going to trim that down slightly like that. So as you can see then, once it's in the card, it won't poke up over the top. Same for this one. There we go. Now I did use some Lawn Fawn, and I think they're Snow Banks or something like that I bought in a sale quite a few years ago. There we go. So there's my little struts. Now then, to make the box card, if you look at it, so you've got the 3 inch score at the top there. I'm going to cut off this bit here. Let's find a pencil. So this bit is going to go once again, and on this one, this is going to go, and then we're going to cut down there. So I'm going to get rid of this piece first. You don't need that bit at all because the sides poke over. And then on this piece down here, I'm just going to just taper in the edges. Oh, that was a rubbish job there. Like that. Then I'm going to cut from the top. This is still a 3-inch side at the top. I'm going to cut from there to that middle score line. Like that. Cut that down a bit further. Then I'm going to burnish it over. So there's a little flap there. And these are going to fold backwards. Okay, like this. You're going to fold 3 out of the 4. The 4th one, you want to keep that straight because that'll be the piece that is here that doesn't fold down. So when the card folds down, as you can see, that piece stays perfectly rigid, and that's where you can put your sentiments thing on the back. So bringing in my Christmas ones, as you can see, when it folds flat, that piece there, there's no bending that one at all. Okay, so we're not scoring that side over. So I'm going to do it again with this one. Cut off this little tab here down to the 3-inch score line. Taper in the edges here like that, and then cut down here. I can fold this piece in. I'm going to fold this piece over, but this piece I am keeping as it is. Okay, and then these little tabs come inwards. So I'm just going to get my bone folder now and just reinforce all my score lines. Okay, so when we put our box together, we'll be going together like that. First thing I'm going to do is decorate these pieces, and the pieces I need for this, I don't know why I'm looking over there, are just short of, I think it's 3 7/8 squared for this one. So I'm just going to adhere all these little pieces down, and I'm using the Snowflake DSP from last year actually, because it's in my mission to use things up, and I can remember last year I had 2 packs of it, so I've got quite a bit to use up. And I love this Coastal Cabana, these lovely Coastal Cabana colours, because it gives us a nice wintry sort of snowy feel, I think, which is perfect for our little critters who are all out skating and skiing. Okay, so obviously you're going to keep this one. I can actually put this one straight on. I've done my sentiment piece here. This is 3 7/8 by 6 and 7/8. I'm going to put that there then. So it'll keep then that back piece from bending. And I've just got Whisper White for this. And I've stamped it in Coastal Cabana with the sentiment, and then Pool Party for the little snowflakes. Okay, so that's how our card's looking so far. Then you're going to bend these over, and then I'm using a contrasting piece of paper, which these pieces are 3 7/8 again by 2 7/8. So really they're just a smidgen under 3 by 4. That's the less technical term, obviously. I'm using Pool Party cardstock here. There we go. I'll just put those last ones on now. And then I am going to start to stick my box together. Okay, So you need it so these fold outwards. And I am going to stick that piece there. So that can fold out of the way. I'm going to use some liquid adhesive for this because it just gives you a chance to make sure that you've got it in exactly the right place. Double side is a little bit unforgiving for things like that. Now what I often do, because who hasn't got pegs on their desk? I just put a peg on there, just as an extra pair of hands. I'm going to put that to one side a second because now I'm going to create the little scene that's going to go here. So I'm going to use this little stitch border is actually out of the Freezin Fun bundle. So I'm going to put that. I'm just going to use this as a mask. As a little bit of a stencil, that's all for this one. And I'm going to use a bit of Pool Party. My blending brush. There we go. And I'm just going to go down across the edge here. Like this. As if the wind is sort of blowing the snow slightly. And I'm just going to go around the edges as well. Just gently. Like that. And my little seal is going to go there on his little patch of ice that I have stamped out ready. But for the background, I'm going to stamp some of these little tiny stars. And I'm going to do that again in Pool Party. So I'm just going to do them very lightly. So as you can see is second generation Stampin. I don't want them to be too in your face. There we go. Just to fill in this part here. And then I'm going to stick this on with a little bit of liquid adhesive. I sounded like Frank then, not Father of the Bride. There we go. Now, make sure you stick your little ice patch the right way around, because the first card I made, I looked at it and I thought, I'm sure I've got that upside down, and I did. And then he's going to go here. Now obviously you can use foam pads if you'd like. There we go. But because the card is quite sort of, well, it is 3D as it is, I thought I'd keep it a bit flatter then when I put all the things on. There we go. I'm going to put that here. I was going to stamp a sentiment on, but I think I'll add a sentiment to the front instead. There we go. That's there, like that. Okay. So this is how we're looking so far. Like that. Now then, to give you an idea of where I'm going to place my little snowbanks, I'm going to use my pencil and ruler. See, I magically lose things all the time. And I'm going to give myself a little mark at 1 inch, 2 inches and 3 inches. And the edge of my little snowbank is going to go on those little dots. Okay, just put glue on the one side for now. Like that. Apologies if my curly head gets in the way. For the first time in such a long time, I've actually got my hair down today, which would probably fill the screen. So just hold it for a little bit. Then add your next one. And because of the fact that I've used those little stitch borders, those little snowbanks, it'll give you all different heights across your card. Once again, apologies for my head and my hair. There we go. Okay, and that's the last one then. There we go. And hold it down for a little bit. Right, this is where this is where then it gets not tricky, but this is where it can go a little bit astray if you don't get them to stick down properly. If these don't stick down to this side properly, your card won't fall flat. So open these up like this and put your glue on all three, and then fold, hang on, which way am I doing this? This way. Fold them in towards the card. Okay, and then press them down. So put your glue on them when it's open this side, and then fold it back in. Okay, and then what you'll find is that they are put in exactly the right place. Now on my one card I did it a different way and it didn't work out so well. Then make sure this tab is open, put your glue down there and fold that piece in and hold it for a little bit, because obviously it's an important part of the card. And there we go. Right then, so now it's time to start building the scene. I'm going to put a tree here. It's going to be quite difficult, I think, for you to see how I'm decorating it, because I'm going to be working in the way of myself, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put this little fellow here. I'm going to put the rabbit here at the front, and I'm going to just add a little bit of glue at the bottom of the image. Now obviously you can add glitter to the top. I'll probably do that, but not on camera. And then I'm going to have this little critter, which I think is a raccoon, here, like that. So it's looking like this so far. Then I'm going to have my penguin more towards the middle here, as if he's sort of leaping for joy, because this snowbank is slightly higher. I think I'll have another tree then in the background there. Obviously you can stamp as many images as you want to fill your scene. Okay, so that's how it's looking so far. So I think I'm going to add a little sentiment strip there, a little sentiment piece. And I'm going to use, I think, "'Tis the season to be freezin'." Right, let's have a look. I might use it actually with my Let It Snow from this one, because yeah, I think I'll use this one as well. So what I'm going to do is I tend to use the lines on my cutting mat just to line it up slightly. Let's find a piece of cardstock. I tend to do a lot of it by eye, to be honest. Let's see how much. I think that's a bit too small there. Let's bring in my trimmer. Yeah, very little measuring goes on, unless it's to make actually a design. Usually when I make something, it's pretty much, yeah, that'll do, that'll be fine. Right, I'm gonna cut this one down. Let's see how that looks. I think I need a new blade. Okay, so my sentiment's going to go here. I'm going to use, where's it gone? Coastal Cabana. And because it's a polymer stamp, a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to bring in my foam pad. Tell you what, I'm actually just going to use my Stamper Artist. That's so much easier, isn't it? As you can see, I wasn't actually planning on putting a sentiment on, because usually I have things a bit more prepared than this. There you go. Just bring that up. And obviously if you are using photopolymer, you will need your little black foam pad underneath. Now, I often use a little bit of washi rather than the magnets for some pieces because just for ease of use really. There we go. So I want that here, like that. I'm going to pick that one up first because then I'm going to have to take the foam pad out because the next stamp I've got isn't photopolymer. I do find photopolymer much easier to line up. There we go. And I just love the fact with Stampin' Up! You can mix and match whatever stamp sets you've got. I'll put that just over there a second. Make sure I've got this the right way around because let me tell you earlier on, I nearly stamped a sentiment upside down. I'm going to pick that up. And then, here I am saying let it snow. Hopefully this year in Wales we won't have any snow because obviously my husband and I are building a house and the last thing we want is snow slowing us down. There you go. 'Tis the season to be freezing. And I'm just going to add, with my blending brush again, a little tiny bit of ink around that. I've got all the washi tape stuck to me now, of course. Just to get rid of the harsh white lines of it. These blending brushes are so easy to use. They're actually makeup brushes from Amazon. Not the proper blending brushes, which were quite expensive, I thought, for what they were. Obviously, if you've got the Daubers or sponges, or the Tim Holtz ones, anything like that is fine. I'm just going to stick that on the front there then. Put this to one side for now. And I'm going to flatten this down just to make sure I'm putting that. Tell you what, don't take any risks. Liquid adhesive is your friend here. Because the last thing you want at the last minute is to stick it and it's all wonky-fied. There we go. And there it is. There is my little box card. Now once again, my camera struggles, I think, with the fluorescent lighting. So there we go. There's all the little creatures in the background. There's the sentiment. There's the back area where you write. And then when it comes in the envelope, it's going to look like that. And when the recipient opens it, the sides fold down and it'll stand on their mantelpiece and they'll see the whole card in all its glory. Ta-da! So thank you so much for joining me. Huge welcome to all my new subscribers. It's really fantastic to have you here. I must be honest, it's nice to have a little bit of time to get in my craft room because time at the moment is a bit short for us. But when I get up here, I'm just in the mood for Christmas cards at the moment. So thank you so much for joining me. Take care and Hwyl fawr. Bye!